I nearly fell asleep in church yesterday.
What? That doesn't sound
Yeah,
like you. You're like
I
usually got so
know,
much energy dancing up the
I
back.
know, I know. But the beautiful Reverend Greer, wow, she gave a amazing sort of meditation vibe. Well, it was part of her sermon,
Mm.
and she jumped into John, and we were talking about the Holy Spirit, and she sort of wrapped it around into her sermon and a meditation. So I nearly fell asleep. What about you?
Oh,
So,
oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, no, it was actually so nice. I just love, this sounds so weird. I just love Rev Greer's voice. Like, I could literally listen to her, like,
oh, same,
narrate. Like, we need to get her on one day and, like, just like,
straight up.
The Rainbow Steps podcast would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we record this podcast, the Awabakal people, and extend that respect to elders past, present, and emerging. We would also like to pay respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander peoples listening and acknowledge the lands you are on today. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
welcome to the Rainbow Steps podcast, where we talk all about faith, life, culture, and trying to follow Jesus through all the chaos. My name is Sophie. I am the online coordinator here at Adamstown Uniting Church, and my pronouns are she, her.
Hi, I'm Jord, and I'm an elder here at Adamstown Uniting Church, and my pronouns are they, them. Oh, so smooth this time.
That was
La
really smooth.
Okay, good, good. Because last time I was really clunky, I was like really nervous, and now that was smooth, that one. Okay,
You're a
good.
pro. You're a pro.
Yeah.
I remember, I remember when I didn't do my job and I didn't film the sermon. I forgot to press the film button, and so I had to text Rev Greer, and I was like, can you please record a meditation for this week because I didn't record the sermon. And she was like, "Oh, but it was a really good one," and I changed it. I was like, "Yes, I know, I'm sorry," but like I put like the nice music behind it, and I did like the nice visuals, and literally I listened to that before I go to bed. Like it's so
Yeah.
nice and so calming. Like it's so good. I love it.
I've I reckon we should pump out like CDs and like, you know,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
there could be a big thing, a big like we could sell this stuff. You know,
No,
Kmart would
literally.
be red hot on Rev Greer like meditation tapes. I've already
Oh
mentioned it.
yeah.
She's not keen, but you know, I could I'm the same. I could go to sleep to her voice, and like we were in church, and like I was amped up to start with. Like, you know,
Yeah,
church
yeah.
is exciting, especially Pentecost. Um, you know, happy birthday, church. And everyone's
Woo.
got the red going on, and I was just so excited. And then we hopped into this meditation, and I'm just like, oh, and she's talking about intimacy and the spirit, and I'm just like, oh, I got the warm and fuzzy, so it was good. It
Oh,
was
that's
good.
so nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like it was Pentecost on Sunday, so we go, Happy birthday
Birthday
to the
to
church. Yeah, it was the
yeah.
church. It's the church's birthday.
We're so nerdy.
Um, yeah, we are. I made sure that Luce and I wore red yesterday because I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
we have to. And oh my gosh, I posted a photo on Instagram and Facebook of Rev Malcolm and Rev Nerida, and they like go full out
Yeah.
for Pentecost. They dress like head to toe in red. Rev Malcolm
One.
like
Yeah.
even has like red jeans.
Yeah.
And he wears his
Red
red
sweaters,
jeans.
everything. I'm surprised they didn't paint themselves red. Like
Oh
they
my
were
gosh.
really red. Like some
Yeah.
people just go like one item, they go the
Yeah.
whole 100%, you know, and it's so
They love
cute.
it. They love it. They're like a couple goals, like actually.
Yeah, so
It's
cute.
so cute. All right, so Pentecost. Because I'm a baby Christian, I like still can't like fully wrap my head around like what Pentecost is. Like I know that like it's the birthday of like the modern church in a sense, right?
Yeah,
And it's the day that the Holy Spirit like
yeah,
descended on the
yeah.
disciples, right?
And
And And
50 days after Easter.
50 days after Easter, that's right, because it
Yeah.
aligns with, is it Shavuot? Is that how it's
Yeah.
pronounced? The Jewish festival of Shavuot? Like the 50 days after
Yeah.
Easter? Yeah. And
Sorry if it's not,
and
right.
yeah, this mightn't be accurate. Go and watch the sermon, and Rev Greer
Yeah.
will tell you the exact Pentecost. And it's when like we wear red because like the fire. Is that right? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I assume
I
so.
suppose so.
Yeah.
And then like everybody starts speaking in like all their different languages, but they can understand each other
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
spirit transcends language.
Yeah.
There's Pentecost, Sophie's version. There
Yeah.
you go.
Don't come at us if it's wrong.
Yeah, we're just figuring ourselves out
That's
together. We're
why
just
you
walking
need
together.
to hop on to, and Soph will include all the links
Hmm.
to Rev Greer's sermon
I
because
will.
she knows what she's talking about.
She does. She does.
And she
We're
has a
just
lovely
learning.
voice.
She
Yeah.
does. She
Yeah.
does. So because Pentecost is all about the Holy Spirit, I was thinking that we could share some of our faith statements that we've written, because as some of you may know, in term one of this year, Rev Greer and Rev Judy hosted like this little, is it 5 weeks or 8 weeks? Can't remember. It was 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
It
Yeah.
was 8 weeks. It was like an 8 week workshop called Grace Anatomy, but tish, like Grey's Anatomy, but Grace Anatomy. And it was like a Faith 101 course. So basically it's just like an intro course to like, progressive faith and all of that stuff. And it like, we had like conversations about who's God, who's Jesus, who's the Holy Spirit, like what is the Bible, what is the church, what are the sacraments, all of that stuff. And we're actually going to have a podcast series of that coming up in July. That's going to be happening. So stay tuned for all of that stuff. But we had to write some little faith statements about what we learned each week. So like who's God to us, who's Jesus to us. And we wrote one about the Holy Spirit. So do you want to go first, George?
Yeah, sure.
Who's the Holy Spirit to you?
The Holy Spirit is a comforter and empowering source. You make all things possible. The essence active in every day, guiding, giving, and strengthening. I've held hands of those turning cold. Last earthly breaths cease as peace comes. The room a vortex, life and death in a liminal space, balancing. Holy Spirit, you are the space in between all of that.
Oh, that's so nice. That
It's a
like
bit
paints like
deep.
such a nice pic. No, it was deep, but like it paints such a nice picture, hey.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so good. All right. Mine is the Holy Spirit is the invisible string that ties us to God. The never-ending, always weaving, forever strong connection that reminds us that God is always with us. When God cannot be with us, he leaves us his breath in the form of the Holy Spirit. The Spirit is for everyone. It does not pick and choose and is laid upon us like a blanket to protect and comfort. The Holy Spirit is that feeling of home, that sense of ease that you belong, and the warmth that you are safe.
I like that.
Yeah, it is nice. It's like, I kind of see the Spirit like in the wind, right? And like, when you get like, when it's like summer and you get like that nice warm breeze
Yeah,
and you like,
yeah.
you feel like, oh, so wrapped up in it.
Warm
And
and
it's just so
fuzzies.
nice. Warm, fuzzy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
It 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 was really a good class, of course. Grace Anatomy, and I really, really enjoyed the time that we had
Mm.
together over the 8 weeks. I think we learned a lot and we grew as a group. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to I think Rev Guru said that she was going to do it next year again. So
Yeah, I think she said she wants to try and do it in term one of each year. So
yeah,
definitely would recommend if that's something that you're interested in to come along to that because like, you know, not only does it strengthen your faith and your knowledge, it strengthens your connection with the community. It
yeah,
like, obviously you I feel like sometimes, and we talked about this, last week, sometimes you kind of have like those surface level
Yeah.
interactions with people, right? And I feel like in this space, it kind of forced us to be a little bit more open
Yeah.
and share a little bit more with each other. And, it was really great. We learnt so much about each other. We learnt so much about ourselves. We learnt so much about our faith. And I think it really just kind of drew us all together.
Yeah.
We're like
It was
a little fam now.
a safe little bubble too, like of
Yeah, absolutely.
vulnerability. And it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. We knew that like you could share and that like it
Mm.
wouldn't leave the
Yeah.
space. Like
Yeah.
everyone was just so welcoming and kind and accepting. And yeah, like some of the stuff
Yeah.
like, we shared in there was like
Oh,
hectic, like,
yeah. Yeah.
full on, but it was a safe space. And I know that I felt so much better after, sharing. So hopefully
Mm.
it'll be good.
Time for a brain break. Pause and go and grab a drink or have a stretch. The episode will resume shortly.
So, like, obviously, I said before that, I didn't really understand, like, what Pentecost is about. But, when you think about it, it's still, like, really relevant today, right? Because, it's, it talks about, especially when people are speaking in all of their different languages and they're understanding one another. I feel like there's, like, a unity in that, right? And I feel like we need lots of unity in the world. I feel like everybody is kind of, they have moments where, in this world, it's kind of like all for yourself kind of thing. And,
Mhm.
we have become such egocentric beings. And it's like, that's not really what so this sounds really pretentious, but it's like that whole like what would Jesus do kind of thing, you know what I mean?
I've got it on my bracelet. I made a bracelet
Yeah.
and it's WW and then a JD, what would
Yeah,
Jesus
what would
do?
Jesus do? But like as like, as
Yeah.
like, hoity-toity as it sounds, like it's still like is kind of true in like, some aspects, right? Because like you want
Yeah.
to try and,
Emulate.
walk,
Yeah.
yeah, you want to try and like walk with that, goodness and that grace and, all of
Yeah.
that stuff. And so, people, I feel like people forget that, you want to be able to be in a space within yourself that's inclusive for others, that's safe for others, that's, kind. And that's always what, I kind of try and do because, like in this world, and I suffer from this personally, like burnout and stress is like
Mm.
so real. Like it's so high, especially so I am a trained early childhood educator, and I actually am not currently working in the early childhood sector because there is such a high level of burnout amongst educators. It's like that thing where it's like like it's really really high output, right? And you're like emotionally on all the time, and obviously you're caring for like these little beings that like they turn to you for everything. And like I found it really hard to just come home and just shut off. You bring that work kind of home
Yeah.
with you because it's kind of that um not like intensity, but just because it's
It's a
really
lot of
people
responsibility.
focused. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
because and because it really truly matters, and it's so people focused, you kind of like it's you stop kind of thinking about yourself and you kind of are thinking about other people all the time. So I am not currently working in the sector to try and recoup some of my self-care and sense of self, because like I feel like I've kind of lost that a little bit. Like I'm at the point in my life where I'm like I feel like I used to feel really stuck. Like I
Mm.
feel like I was stuck in the sense that I was doing something that I felt like I would be doing forever, and it wasn't necessarily what I thought I would want to do forever. But now that's kind of shifted, and I kind of feel lost. Like, you
Mm.
know, I kind of feel lost. Like I've got so many things now, which I'm very grateful that I have so many things that I could potentially pursue. But now I'm like, what is the thing that I want
Fills your
to,
cup up.
that's
Yeah.
right, that I want to pursue. And so that's why I'm like, I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. And,
Yeah.
you know, I just feel like
I think that's okay
lost.
though.
Yeah.
I think that's okay to just sit in it and just see,
Yeah, for
like, and
sure.
give it time
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
just paddle around, maybe taste test everything and then make a choice.
Yeah, that's right. It's like nothing, it's like that, what do they say? Like nothing's permanent kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you can always change your mind. You can always, you know, except tattoos, they're kind of permanent. But
Well, you can get them removed,
you can
but
get them removed, that's true.
take it from me, it is very painful.
To get tattoos,
Very
have you
painful.
had a tattoo removed?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh.
0 stars on the TripAdvisor on that one. And well, it's not fully removed yet because you have to have like multiple
Oh
sessions. So
wow.
it's expensive and it is extremely painful.
Wow. Okay. Zero
But
out of
but
10
like
would not recommend.
no. But I studied as a veterinary nurse. I spent 4 years at TAFE. I'm a fully qualified veterinary nurse.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And yeah, yeah. I came first in my surgical staff. I got
Wow.
special awards. So like I aced my course. I did a couple of courses actually and then got my veterinary nursing. Um, and like I worked in that industry for a little bit and like you, I burnt out really quickly. Um, and I took time like you are now, so to work out where I was going and what I'm doing. And I still haven't fully worked out where I'm going, but I'm a cleaner now. But and that's great at the moment. And I really love that I can have an fairly easy job, cruisy job, and then spend a lot of my time with the church and pastoral care. So I find that balance pretty good. But I can't see cleaning being like forever because
Mm.
I hate the idea of doing one thing forever. And
Mm.
I like the mystery, falling and put leaning into the mystery of what you're going to do down the track.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like, yeah, I'll just see what happens. And I just have this insane trust in God that everything will be okay. And um the path the path is laid. I'm just walking it at the moment.
Mm.
So maybe that's a good thing for you to remember, Soph, that the path
Mm.
is laid and it's going to have a few roundabouts in it,
Yeah. But we'll get
but
there
you'll
in
get
the
there.
end. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. It's like the thing that I'm thinking about now, like right now, right, is that especially at my age, I'm at such a transitional age, right?
Mm.
And because it was actually funny, so I do a lot of things, but I currently host I do like hosting of trivia and bingo events as one of my things. And last week when I was hosting a bingo, I ran into somebody that I went to school with, and she's 2 years older than me. And we were chatting, and you know, she was letting me know where she was at, and she was letting me know that she had planned to do travel, but she was taking some time at home before, you know, kind of going out into the world because of, you
Yeah.
know, all of the things that's happening with travel at the moment. And because she was like, well, I'm unemployed. And then her partner was like, don't like, you know, it's kind of like there's more to it than, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just
But there's no
unemployed.
shame in that.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Absolutely not. And she was like, you know, she's just taking time to spend time with her family and she's
Yeah.
focusing on the things that are important. Absolutely. And, you know, I definitely didn't have any negative thoughts when she said that to me. I was like,
Yeah.
girl, I get it. I get it.
You do you.
But
Yeah.
but I said to her, you know, we were talking and I said, oh, da 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 da, my husband. And she was like, when did you get married? And I was like, oh, like, you know, 6 months ago. And she was like, it's so weird to hear somebody who's 2 years younger than me say that they're married. And I had this moment where, when sometimes you have moments and the words that come out of your mouth like aren't yours and you don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
I have that all the time. And it's like like the first time that I came to church and I was talking to Malcolm and I was like, these aren't my words. And I'm just like, is this God speaking through me? Is this a message that somebody needed to hear? Is this a message that I needed to hear? Because I always beat myself up about not being in the right place in life, even though I literally just said this is a transitional age, right?
Yeah.
And so I was saying to this girl, I was like, look, I said, we're at a really weird time in our lives. I said, just run your own race, don't
Yeah.
compare yourself to anybody else. You just do what's best for you. Like, don't worry about what anybody else is doing. And I'm like, why? Like, I literally can't take my own damn advice, can I? Like,
No.
like
You need to listen to yourself.
I'm telling
That's
this
great
to
advice.
people. But
It's great advice. And even when you arrive, like, and you get to a certain point, you're always like not, you're wait on, I lost my train of thought. What I'm trying to say is even when you arrive, you still think you need to do more
That's
because
right.
we all compare to each other.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, all right. So this section of the podcast is for announcements. I'll talk about the disco. What?
I'm just laughing at the way that you said that. So professional.
Okay.
This section of the podcast is for
I'm gonna be
announcements.
Announcements. Okay, wait on, I'll do it again. Announcements. There is a presbytery walking together event at Toronto UC. Save the date. It is the 18th of July, 10:30 to 2:30.
Oh, good.
So I don't know who you contact for that.
I think if you find Toronto Uniting Church on Facebook, I think they have some more details on their Facebook. So go find that because I reckon that'll be great.
What Soph said. And then I'm very, very excited for this. I'm very excited. It's called Light Up the Night.
Woo-hoo!
And it's a disco and a family fun night. And it is at our church, Adamstown Uniting Church. And it's 5 to 7:30. It's on the 19th of June, 2026. So 228 Bronca Road, Adamstown. And DJ
Querio. Yeah.
Yeah, I know,
legend.
right? I'm excited. So, yeah, light up the night. Everyone's welcome. I don't know the prices, but I think it's affordable and dinner's included.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's included in the one price for your ticket for the kiddies and the adults. So get on it. It's for a good cause. Come and support the church. Are you going to be there, Soph?
I might be doing bingo, but I am going to try and get the night off and come to the disco. Because I really want to come to the disco.
And because like all our listeners could come and meet us too.
That's right.
Because I know we're pretty popular.
Oh yeah, because we're
pretty popular.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got a lot of followers, so we might like Soph and I might set up a table for autographs and stuff if you need. Drop in the comments if that's something you might want at the disco. Because we can make it happen. We could also on our table have a special guest, Rev Greer, and you can meet her.
To be fair, Rev Greer is pretty famous.
Yeah, Greer is pretty famous. So we could maybe do a quick meet and greet. Yeah.
That's so funny. I literally though at church on Sunday I made an announcement to the congregation. I said, I don't know if you've seen, but Jordan and I have started a podcast and we got such a big cheer. That was so nice.
I know. It was like the biggest cheer ever. And another thing, Soph, can you do the announcement for church, like online church? Because that's this week.
Actually, yeah, no, that's right. But I think this episode will come out after we have our online church service. I'm going to
Oh,
post about it on socials, because this episode will come out on Thursday and online church is on Wednesday. But we have
yeah,
online only church, so the service is only online, live through Zoom. You can't get it anywhere else. But it's the fourth Wednesday of every month. I thought it was the third, but it's the
yeah,
fourth Wednesday of every month. Go to our website, adamstownuca.org.au. I think it's .au. I should know. I put it everywhere. adamstownuca.org.au. Head to the church online tab, and if you scroll down, then there'll be like information about virtuality. That's the name of our online church service. And you can use the meeting ID, or there should be a link in the image, and that will bring you straight to the meeting on the fourth Wednesday of every month from 7 p.m.
yeah, yeah.
Yay.
It's awesome. It's not recorded. It's a
No,
safe space for everyone to come and experience church.
absolutely.
Yeah, you can
Absolutely.
leave your camera off. You can leave your camera off. You can leave your microphone off. Yeah. What else do you want to talk about, love? Is that it?
I'm just going to quickly mention in June, the 26th to the 28th of June, there is a little conference, I suppose. I say I'm
Mm.
going, when people ask me about it, I say I'm going to church camp. It's called the School of Discipleship. And it's
It sounds
essentially
cool.
that. It's literally just, a school,
Yeah.
it's a place for, actually, I've got a little spiel. Where's my little spiel? It's right here. The School of Discipleship is exactly that. A school where we come to learn, to be challenged and nurtured. And that's at the Tops Conference Centre in Stanwell Tops. And if you Google schoolofdiscipleship.org.au, you will find this year's theme, which is Lost in Translation, Reclaiming Discipleship and the Foundations of Faith, with the wonderful guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Sunny Chen. So, very
Sounds like a red
exciting.
hot goer. All right.
Let's wrap it
Wrap her
up.
up.
Wrap her up. Thanks so much for joining us on the Rainbow Steps podcast, everybody. Join us every Thursday where we will have a new episode ready for you. And don't forget to go and check out the sermon that goes along with this episode, Pentecost Sunday 2026, on our YouTube. Just search Adamstown Uniting Church, or there will be a link in the description if you're listening on Spotify. Don't forget to connect with us on all of our socials at Adamstown Uniting Church. We need to get back on the TikTok trends, Jord.
I know, radio. This weekend,
This weekend we're
this
doing some
weekend we'll do a couple
TikToks.
because we've got
Heck
a few
yeah.
ideas. So let's just do a few all at once. If you feel
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be good. We'll be good.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Bless you all. God be with you. Peace be with you, as Rev Greer would say. And we'll see you next week. Bye all.
Bye.
Bye.